Well, hi everybody, John Elzinga, and welcome back to It's a Great Day to Serve the Lord. And for the next 2 weeks, I want to talk about, for lack of a better term, what we will call the dominant thought idea. And the dominant thought idea, has kind of two angles to it, two approaches to it. The first concerns how we approach our everyday life and our work and what our dominant thoughts are there. The second is how to get down and break down the barriers of communication that are in so many areas of our culture right now. How do you break down those barriers? And we'll get to that next week. But it's called the dominant thought idea, and it comes from behavioral study. And don't be too impressed because it's really easy to understand. It's pretty much common sense. But as with most things, as with many things in behavior, it really originally comes from Scripture. And the dominant thought idea revolves around what behaviors you want to lean toward, how we speak to ourselves internally. We all have some kind of a self-talk going on all the time. And then how we speak to others, how we interact with others, how we want that to go off, what the effect we want to be. And so there's really two easy ways I can explain this idea. Let's talk about baseball. In the field of baseball, in the area of baseball, let's just say before the next batter comes up, the coach goes out to the mound and he talks to the pitcher and he says, "Hey, don't pitch that ball high and outside." What's the dominant thought? The dominant thought is high and outside. The very thing the coach doesn't want him to do is the emphasis, is the focus. The don't produces the behavior. Because invariably, what's the pitcher going to do? He's going to pitch it high and outside. He didn't mean to do it, but that was his dominant thought. That was his focus. Another easy way to explain it would be if I said to you, don't think about a purple elephant. What are you thinking about right now? My guess is it's a purple elephant. That's the dominant thought idea. It's our focus. And if our focus is on the don'ts, that is probably what we're going to get. What we focus in on is essentially what we're going to get. So let's look at a couple scriptures that advise us what to focus on. And I'm going to start with Philippians chapter 4, verse 8, and it goes this way. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if there is anything excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Now, did you get this? It didn't say do such things. It said think about such things. Because God, in the way He created us, He knows that what dominates our thoughts, what we focus in on, is the behavior, the area, the thing that we are going to produce and pursue and produce. So let me drop down on this list here just simply to say, if it says, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy. Now, I could say, all of these things that we focus in on are praiseworthy. What does that simply mean? That simply means these things give God praise. Now, excellence. God is into excellence. In our work world, for example, if we focus in on, if our thought processes, if our thinking realm is on being and doing and producing excellence, we will then have a soft talk that questions our work. We'll look at it and say, is this excellent, what I'm presenting here? Is this giving God glory? Now, mind you, excellence isn't perfection, because virtually all excellence has some flaws to it. We're not perfect people. Let me give you another scripture. James 3:13 through 18. And it says this: who is wise and understanding among you? Let them show it by their good life, by deeds done in the humility that comes from wisdom. But if you harbor bitter envy and selfish ambition in your hearts, do not boast about it or even deny the truth, deny the fact that that's how you're thinking. Such wisdom does not come from heaven, but it is earthly, it is unspiritual, it is even demonic. I mean, Satan goes after our minds, right? Satan messes with our minds. For where you have envy and selfish ambition, there you find disorder and every evil practice. But the wisdom that comes from above, from heaven, is first of all pure, then peace-loving, considerate, submissive, full of mercy and good fruit, and I think that good fruit is probably the fruit of the Spirit, full of mercy and good fruit, impartial and sincere, peacemakers who sow in peace, reap a harvest of righteousness, meaning reach a harvest of good stuff. Think about it this way. It talks about if you have selfish ambition in the work world. Let's talk about the work world. If you have selfish ambition, it's all about you. Your central focus, your dominant thought is all about you. It's all about us. It's all about me. And many times to climb the corporate ladder, we'll crawl all over people to get where we want to go because it's all about me. It even filters into, for example, how we serve others, how we serve our customer, our client, our patients. Many years ago, my wife and I were up in Mammoth for a long ski weekend, and so we were up there to ski. Well, I should say my wife was skiing, I was trying. But anyway, there must have been some kind of dentist convention there, because for lunch we went into the lodge this one day, and there were all kinds of dentists around us. We could hear the dental talk. and the table right next to us, there were a pair of dentists talking to each other. I wasn't eavesdropping. I could hear them talking. And the one dentist advising the other dentist. It was like an older to the younger kind of thing. And I'm hearing him say, I tell all my staff that their job is to make me look good. Think about that. What was his focus? What was he saying is the most important thing? It was self-focused, wasn't it? This scripture also says, that the wisdom comes from above is considerate, meaning considerate of others. If our dominant thought was consideration of others, we would include others in our thinking, in our planning, in our preparing, in our doing. We're thinking about the team. We're thinking about how what we do affects others. We're thinking about including others. We're thinking about the outcomes that we want as a company. And so I think a better way for this dentist, a better approach might have been to say, maybe a healthier approach, a wiser approach would be say, if he said, I tell all my staff, their job is to make our patients look good. It's a different dominant thought, isn't it? It really is. In the end, we as Christians want our dominant thoughts to be what God tells them He wants them to be. He wants them to be true, not misrepresenting others, noble, think about what's right and what's pure, meaning, don't mess with evil stuff. He wants it to be lovely and admirable. He wants it to be excellent. He wants it to be praiseworthy stuff. He wants us to focus in on being pure and peaceable, peace-loving people, considerate of others, submissive, full of mercy and good fruit, impartial and sincere. He wants us to sow peace into the lives of others. Next week, we're going to touch on focusing in on the fruit of the Spirit. But my thought, my friend, as I leave you today is this. Focus in on these things. Let these be your dominant thought. And I'm not even saying memorize them. I'm just saying fill your heart and mind with these scriptures, and they will produce an outcome that is pleasing and glorifying to God. It is pleasing and effective with others, and in the end, is a life that is more fulfilling. Well, God bless you, and remember, it's a great day to serve the Lord.